To watch the Path to Purpose show, where we share inspiring stories, how people have discovered their purpose and how they have overcome any obstacles that have been on their way to succeed on purpose. My name is Katja from Karma Cleanse, and I'll be your host. And today I have a pleasure to be interviewing Lucinda Harman, who is a transformational speaker and coach from South Africa. And she's also the founder of Voice Your Power and Global Women Unite. So welcome, Lucinda. It's such a pleasure to have you here and have you sharing your inspiring story, because when I read it, I was like, OMG, I need to have her in the show. I need to support you to share your story for more people, because it is a powerful one. So could you tell a little bit about yourself, what you are doing now, before we step into how you got into where you are right now?
Yeah, hi, thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me. I fell in love with the whole concept of life purpose, because that is kind of where I got my focus and my meaning to actually carry on and not take my life. If I hadn't had that, I probably wouldn't be here today. So it's very important. So I'm in a place called Bloemfontein, which is central South Africa. It's a kind of agriculture farming area. I've done a lot in my lifetime. You know, I've dabbled in quite a lot, been an entrepreneur, but my life was constantly kind of empty. So no matter what I succeeded at, sports, I got the Olympic squad canoeing. I've been on stage. I did sound of music for 6 months. So I've achieved in so many things. I've got my degree and I've got my diplomas, and I was a therapist for 11 years in Cape Town, which is the big tourist hub of South Africa. And I got into a very meaningless kind of life and job. And well, we'll go into that when we go into kind of how I got where I did. And yeah, and my passion in my heart for so long is really, that's, I talk about zone of genius. I think we work out what that gift is and what the magic is we hold in our hand. What is that magic potion that only we have? And it really, yeah, I've got an ability to spark of other people's healing and help others to really be able to open up and to be able to come out of hiding and their own silences, because this is kind of a lot linking, but I don't want to spoil it now on the life mission, because you asked me where I am, what I'm doing. And at the moment I'm planning on relocating from where I am to a bigger city center. And, I've accepted, to do workshops on the ground in South Africa to start first and then move it internationally, is to really start meeting with women and helping them, workshopping, very intensive but intimate, close, because often on the line space working like we do, we miss. I'm very hands-on, so I'm on Messenger the whole time with my clients. I'm all the time checking how you're doing, bringing you out. I want to hear. I want to feel that fire within you burning. So, but when you can physically touch somebody and you can hold them and they share their life and you can actually literally physically hold them, it kind of brings in another kind of level. And I've just realized it's quite important to do it face to face with women and in women groups.
Oh, beautiful. And thank you for sharing that. It is so powerful work you are doing, and one-on-one and like expanding and expanding. I can see big things for you. But let us go a little bit back, because you said there were some things, and since you found your purpose, you are still here, and I'm so glad you made that choice to continue here. And it's a little bit similar to my own story, so I relate to that a lot. So could you tell us, how did you find your purpose? Was there specific events that kind of started to unfold your purpose for you?
I think if I can just share, I'm going to go very quickly through it, so people get an idea of the kind of life that I have had, and it will always give hope to people. I grew up in a very well thought of house, role models that all looked great on the outside. It was a rich, affluent Constantia, which is the big wineland area of Cape Town, South Africa. But from 2 years old, my mother and father sexually abused me. And from there, my life spun. at 2 years old, you lose all faith in humanity. Basically, you realize the world is unsafe. You kind of lose your identity and everything else at that stage. I mean, it's devastating for any child, anybody. But at 2, it's an integral time in your life. And I'm going to fast forward. So my life was marred by a lot more sexual abuse. It was with my own acting teacher, and that he was eventually imprisoned. I was put in a home for 2 years. My mother was unstable, mentally unstable, and always trying to kill me. So I was put in a home for 2 years, a lot of sexual abuse. So it was between the home and going back to my home. So I had a very unsafe, never had any feeling of a family and love. I didn't know the concept of love. To me, handing myself for sexual favor was as close as I got to any form of attention. By 20 years old, when I decided, okay, cool, I'm gay. I'm gonna have a relation with a woman. My mother took a brandy bottle, tried to slit my throat, and I ran for my life. And I slept on park benches and things like that. So if we look back into the story, how it goes, it gives you an idea of the momentum that picked up over my life. 33 years old, the first time I get my memories back of my abuse, I'd actually blocked it out. And my family then tried to certify me in a whole lot of legal ramifications. And 41, I was living in Johannesburg, the center of South Africa. And I decided that I couldn't handle, everything was freaking me out. I couldn't handle people. I ran away literally to where I am, which is remote, that no one knew where I live. I've literally hidden away from society for 9 years. And last year and we'll go into last year, from 47, I left my job, took a major big gamble, and I ended up going on a big sabbatical, a real personal sabbatical. I'm uncovering everything within my own life, because my life was in ruins. It was smashed up. And for 3 years, I've earned nothing. I lost absolutely everything I had on a financial level. And last year, I'm doing a lot of online work, and I was going through coaching. And the one particular challenge we had was to speak. And I'd never spoken about any of this. I was so ashamed of myself. And I believed I was impure. I believed I was tarnished. I believed I was a bad person. And I believed that no one actually deserved, or no one needed me in their lives. I felt I didn't belong anywhere in the world or with people. I felt I was unlovable. I was trash. That's what I felt. And when I voiced in this group, I just decided I had to go for it. Because people kept on saying, you've got to talk. And I'm going, but I'm talking. And people said, but you're not. And your throat chakra's closed. And as I spoke, it was like, finally, I allowed myself, I gave myself freedom to move forward. From that process then, I'd really been going through forgiveness, gaining my power, all those things. But as I spoke, and I was able to get out in the world, so I realized the magic and medicine that I held with my life and my story. And what happened is, eventually, some months ago, I started burning down to the ground, meaning every part of me, I was losing it. And I said to you earlier, it was like a karmic cleanse that I went through, and it was a karmic purge. And I realized that I'd worked through all my karma. I got to a point of burning through every layer that was imaginable. Any bad incident, memory, story, all my old foundations, the ways I did things in this world, it all came crashing down. It was finally over. And then the emergence of me came through like the phoenix, and that's when I could rise. I could rise in magnificence and come out in the world and shine that light for the world. And basically the gift that I have, which is igniting in others the healing, that came out. But without that deep healing and that, I wouldn't have been able to do the work if it hadn't been for all that kind of that did happen.
And I really acknowledge you for doing all the inner work to take you to that place where you are right now. And also like having this strength, like going through all those experiences that must have been so challenging, so hard for you. And you did that. And now like the purpose that you have the courage to share those stories. And I know from my own experience that sometimes we just want to hide. When you shared that, I was like, yes, I've been there. I just have wanted to close the curtains and just be there without nobody knows what I have been going through. But those secrets are actually the things that are killing us. And when we voice them, there are other people who say, yes, we are the people who share those things, and like then we give the freedom for others to share as well and know that they are not alone. Like this earth school, how I call world, there is some very, very challenging stuff going on. But then there is also ways how we can turn those obstacles to be stepping stones. So you mentioned forgiveness was one of the big things for you that helped you to start the process. And is there something else? Because it's sometimes forgiveness can be also very tough, because at least that's my experience, like I don't want to forgive these people, they hurt me, and like, or whatever that is. Like, how did you start the forgiveness work?
The first thing I stepped on, I found unconditional love. That was my first step. The day that I found unconditional love for myself, I then was able to be the change in the world that I wanted to see. When I started loving myself, suddenly the world started being more loving to me. And then I realized, wow, the world is changing around me. And then I found acceptance of them myself. I found my realness, like the Velveteen Rabbit. Yeah. I realized that even though I'm damaged within and I had all of this that I was ashamed of, that I actually was beautiful, and I had a right, and there was a reason to be on this planet. And I started tapping into that and believing, and I get such goosebumps when I talk about it. But I remember this process so well. And I was at a labyrinth at a psychiatric hospital here where I live. And I'd always chased after forgiveness. I'd gone to churches, I'd gone to people, I'd read books, I've read so much. I've tried every type of practice available. Yeah. What was important is I did the forgiveness to a degree, but it was self-forgiveness was the final click I needed. It was coming back and saying that even though, because you see, if only when we're honest with ourselves, there's a payback in it, and we have to get real. Yeah. When we are pulled, let me give you an example, because it's so ouchy and sore for most people to actually do this. But when I realized in my own life, with my father, for instance, I believed I was here to save the world. I had this weird feeling as a young kid that I was here to save my mother and save the world. And I had to decide at that stage, and I remember doing it, thinking, if I get beaten up in a garage and tied up like a dog, was it better? Was it better to offer myself sexually to him? I made the choice. And I had to forgive myself for making that choice. I had to forgive myself for allowing him to do it, because it was the only form of attention. Otherwise, I was being cursed and I was being sworn at. But in that time of being abused, it was a form of attention, the closest I got to love. So when I could go there that deep, I eventually could actually just release. Everything was gone. And when I found self-forgiveness, it took me 15 seconds. And the pains in that I had in my body, because I carried a lot of pain from back, and I had a broken rib at the time. And I literally went from a 10 out of 10 of pain, and I went to a naught. It was unbelievable. It took 15 seconds. Wow. And that's why I truly believe that a lot of the cancers, the autoimmune diseases, a lot of the things people have, that ME, whatever that thing is called, I can't think of, fibromyalgia. Yes. Because I had that at a stage, are often related to internally some shame or something we're holding at a very deep level. Yeah. And you know, that was, and finding my power was also part of that. You know, when I found forgiveness and the self-love, I accessed my full power, because we then take our power back. We give it away as women everywhere. We hand it out so liberally, because we've been taught from young. We've been taught to, that in order to get love and whatever we want, we have to hand things out in order to get love and acceptance. We toe the line. We are conditioned and things like that. So those were kind of instrumental. I'm kind of going off the line a little bit, but those were instrumental with that.
No worries. You are sharing such a powerful tools for people, and like learning how you did it. That is beautiful, because the willingness that you have to share your work, your story, that can be inspiration for others. So you are very much on point what you are explaining there. So it is beautiful and powerful when we find the forgiveness. And like we have always done the best we could, and the circumstances we have faced, like the choices we have made, and finding the forgiveness, self-forgiveness on those moments for the choices we made. We made them because we thought that's the best choice we have that point. And then like discovering that your own beauty, like remembering who you truly are, remembering the mission, the powerful mission you have here. And that is like kind of like, even from a young age, you knew that. Like you knew that there is something I'm here to do, and now you are sharing that work. And like through those experiences that you had to face here as well, I think there is so much compassion and understanding that you have gained as you had needed to go through those things, and then finding the transformation, like how you can transform yourself and let go of that pain and hurt and all those memories. Because I do believe, like what you shared as well, that we store those things in our body, like all the hurts. It's kind of like we just collect it. Our body is like a storage unit in that sense, and we place them somewhere. And if we are not doing the work, we might get a disease, which then is that something we haven't worked on. So
A call cut in there. Sorry. Hi.
Okay. So let's hope you are back now. It seems you froze a bit. Now you are back. There we go.
A phone call came in, unfortunately, and I can't stop the call coming through because I'm on my cell phone, so I apologize.
No worries. We continue now. And I want to now ask you about as a transformational coach that you are now, and like, is there something you could tell people to do, like around the power? Like, how could they feel more powerful, like finding their voice? Because that's something a lot of light workers go through, like the journey, how to discover your voice, your power to speak up. And as you mentioned, the throat chakra blocks that can exist as well. So would you have something there that people could start? Of course, working with you would be the best and fastest way, but how could they start the journey, healing journey?
You mean with the power and with the silence? Those are two. Okay. So I actually had I was gifted with guidance from an incredible woman this week, and we were discussing, because it's often so difficult to understand. If when I was in that space years ago and someone had said to me, you don't have your power, I would have gone, oh yeah, I do. I was bombastic, I was aggressive, and I thought that was power. I didn't understand what I know today about power. If you said to me, you're in silence, and I went to Reiki practitioners, and I would say, no, I'm not, I'm talking. And I could speak a lot of rubbish. I could speak a lot, but I wasn't speaking from within my heart. I wasn't speaking from my story, and I was locking up all the shames. So it's so important to get to a space where you feel so comfortable within yourself that you're at a space where you can open up and you can express and you can allow all those things that you have suppressed to gently come out of you, and to allow them to come into the light. Because only when they come out and they express can they heal. And only when we share our medicine, I call it my medicine, the medicine meaning my pains and hurts, do we really get to understand the value. Because I'm often called the gratitude queen, and I do, like you would have seen, I did a lead magnet for people relating to it. But the whole process, and I want to just quickly loop that, I wrote a letter to my father. He'd sent a 50th birthday thing the week, and normally I would just ignore it. This week, I decided to tell him that I wanted to thank him. I wanted to thank him for everything, because at the end of the day, and that is where your voice finally breaks out, is you realize there's nothing around you anymore. Because you see, you can't speak when you are still uncertain and scared and shameful, you can't speak. You can only truly speak from spirit or from source and direct your life mission and legacy fully when your sails are wide open. You know, when you opened your wings like the bird, that is when you stop flying. But you can't open the sails, think about a sail of a ship, or think about the wings of a bird, if you're being trapped, if something's catching on you somewhere. And the way to go into that magnificent kind of soaring is number one, you need your power. While you still believe that someone's to blame or shame, or you believe that somebody's done something to you and you're entitled to be angry or entitled to have a grievance, you're not free. You only are free when there's no more. You realize they've come into your life from a karmic perspective, a soul contract, whatever, and they've come in because, and it's your choice. You can stay entrapped, you can stay in that, and you'll never have your power and you'll be silent, or you can choose to let go of it all and move up and evolve and basically free yourself and transform. And I wish every woman in this world, and I know it's a huge thing, silence in our world is bigger than anyone will imagine, because look at the continents where women are literally third-rate citizens. Look at how many women are trapped in marriages or situations where they believe it's their role to be dutiful and to do what they do. And unfortunately, it's a reality. Where I'm living in the city, you know, religion dictates incredibly that the women don't have a voice and men are the authority figure. So they are hating the work I do about allowing women and bringing women up and giving women their power and voice. They feel that women don't deserve to have power. But the world's got very mixed up in this word called power, because in peace there's power, and power there's peace. In real peace, in power, it's gentle. It's, if we think of Gandhi, we think about leadership where people came with a beautiful heart and presence. They didn't come around aggressive and violent and manipulating and from ego and domination like we see in the world. You know, what that power isn't power. Real power is from a place of peace and love. And it's something that I want women to really realize and look at, is they don't have to fear power. They don't have to fear the power in their own lives, because it's open for them. And it's the most beautiful thing is when you feel that peace and power, that combination in your own soul. It's a very powerful place to be.
Yes, and I think you made really good point there. Like power, often we kind of connect that with the ego and like being aggressive, being strong. But the true power comes from love. And that is the big, huge difference there. Where does it come from? And I think when you are sharing your work with the women, you are empowering them to take their power, finding their peace, finding the love, first and foremost towards themselves, so that they can then love more others as well, and have the voice to share their stories, share their feelings, share stuff with the world. And that, I feel like, has been such a big karmic block for so many people, like that the voice has been taken away. And actually, funnily enough, I share here quickly, I had a dream a few nights ago about that. Like in a dream, I was experiencing harassment and I could not speak. Like that way, like, because karma, we can also work through dreams. So that was maybe preparation for this interview, because that experience, like you are there and somebody is doing things that you don't want, and you don't have the voice. Like it was truly blocked on the throat chakra. Like I could not say a thing. Like there was no voice coming out. So then, like how, like claiming the power that is your right.
It's sacred. I say power is sacred.
Yes.
It's the same as I've always said to people in any sexual encounter. I chose to not have anything again in my life many years ago, because for me, my energy is sacred. And I just felt that I needed to not put my energy into spiritual practice or in order to do my mission. I don't want disturbances and distractions in my life. And unfortunately, I felt that handing my energy out into relationships was splitting my energy.
Mm.
And I always said in relationships, you know, be careful if you, as soon as you have a sexual whatever with somebody, immediately you must remember it's sacred. You are sacred. And it's the same with power. Your power is sacred to you. So you don't go give it out. You hold it here and it's yours. And it's the only people that want your power is people who don't have their power, because they are actually in a weakened state, and they're trying to build themselves up from an ego and from a negative context. So you know, my whole thing is about being courageous in the world and shining a light for women to stand up in all the work I do, whether it's my group or my big group, Global Women Unite, is about going out there and igniting that spark in women to heal, giving them that spark to get the healing energies going. And there's no story too bad. There's no life that's trashed, you know. And to find out this life purpose, what is this all about, you know, what you also kind of work with people. But for me, it's very important to step into your power. As women, we need to heal the wound globally. We have to. It's our responsibility. We have to take that responsibility, because for the generations around us and to come, if we don't heal now, we're not laying the foundations well for our future. So I think the time is very much now, and women are rising globally at the moment. But it's to join hands and each heal, and then to rise together healed is the key to transformation for me of our planet.
Wow, beautiful and powerful message you have. And do you have a special offer for people who would like to now contact you, start working with you, helping them to find their power?
Yeah, I mean, in South Africa, I've got a workshop at the moment called, and I've just done myself in the face now. I'll think about it now. Unleashing your power. That's it. Unleashing.
It comes.
I've got so many words going through my mind. Yeah, unleash your power. I've got, and rise and healing. You know, and I've got that program. So there's South Africans here. I don't want to put it here because I don't know if all South Africans will be watching this. But you'll see it. That's going on the groups and going in my pages and things at the moment. That will be the hands-on work I do. But my main thing is your voice, your power. It's the foundation and the advanced program that I offer. Very intensive. My work is, you know, on Messenger. I'm there all the time, going through the process, 12 weeks. And then we have the one-on-one Zooms, which is weekly. And it's task accountability and making sure every day I'm keeping you absolutely in the best space and keeping it sacred and keep you supported and make sure that you're completely comfortable and actually emerging out of from where you are and bringing you to the places what you want, which is complete freedom and healing, which I take someone through. And the key steps I take someone through, which is truly see, respect yourself. It's finding your realness, find your voice and confidence to speak without fear. It's reclaim your power and heal your past story that traps you. Awaken your gift and suppress beautiful message to create a new life. Discover your life purpose and your legacy, and free and celebrate yourself fully. And in this program of 12 weeks, obviously it's going to be online. And people can either do the first stage and the second, because I do the 2 weeks separate to each other. I need a break between, but I just give the client, I give her time just to kind of assimilate, because it's a lot to do. And it used to be 6 weeks, and I said, no way, we're going 12 now. We do foundation. So at the moment it's $1,397, so it's $1,397. So that's a discount of $197 is if one takes both programs. One takes the foundation and the advanced. But as I said, they can be broken away so that there's time and space. The most important thing is the safety and the healing of every woman that comes into my life. I'm not prepared to race and chase things. It's really about, we have to unfold it, and you know, at the end of the day, the client has to do the work. You know, I can't push you to go any faster or push you to let go, or, you know, allow yourself to emerge. We have to be ready in that space.
Yeah, 'cause
So
everybody has their own space, their own healing journey. But it's great to know you are there to support them, and you understand that everybody
yeah.
has their own rhythm. And
Mm.
how can people then ask for more information, or want, if there are people who want to book right away, like, yes, that's exactly what I need. So how people can find you?
I mean, I can post here. I've got a booking, my Calendly booking I can put on here if you want me to, or I don't know if I send it to you, because I don't know if this is going live now.
Yeah, I can put it on the comments if you send me the link, so direct
I'll
link.
put in the comments. And then that's to book a call, because with this particular program, I do questionnaires first.
Yeah,
I need to do a lot of discovery. I need to make sure that you're fit to go here. And I know it sounds, I always talk about a fitness, but I've got a sports science degree maybe, but I need to know that they're right and ready to take on this process.
yeah,
If you're pulling back and I feel you're going to go back in silence and you're not going to be able to step up to the plate, I'm worried about your safety. So I ask a questionnaire, I do a call to make sure, we do a Skype, and we just make sure that everyone, that it's a safe zone, that green lights are ahead. I'm not going to take a client on for the sake of money. It's got to be absolutely, and find out where you're at. And a lot of it is, I've got the structure for my course, but I need to know maybe you need more help with certain areas, and I need to then go into those areas, because I've learned a lot of skills and tools over the years. I know all the booby traps. I know where all the little areas are lying and what can happen. So it's being sensitive and going with the flows. I go a lot with intuition, and I feel where somebody's at all the time. And then I've got my website, which is my name, which is lucindaharman.com. And I've got Voice Your Power. I've got my business page, which is Voice Your Power, and then my group, which is a very small, intimate group where women have had really major breakthroughs, which is the group, and then it's / obviously Voice Your Power. So they all are Voice Your Power, and people are more than welcome. They can get me on Messenger, which is on my name, Lucinda Harman. And you know what, the main thing for me is to send a wave of healing into this world. And this week I put some on my business page, and it was so simple, and it was really about one person passing light to the next. It was like they had that magical light, and that's what I wish to every woman. And I lit a candle this week, or one of my lives, where it was a very emotional, on my 50th birthday, I literally put it out in the world to bless women and to give them that blessing of love and light and healing. And that's from my heart what I radiate to the world every single day, that I'm quiet in my meditation. Yeah.
yes, you do. And thank you so much, Lucinda, for sharing your journey, your mission. And I love that people can just now book the call. It's just to finding out if you are right fit for the program. So just reach out, and like, there is help available for you, that you can have your voice, have your power. So thank you, Lucinda, for sharing
Thank
your
you.
message. I just absolutely love helping you to share this powerful message that needs to go around in the world. So if you are watching this video, please do help us. Like, share this video with people who might need to hear it. Even if you are a man and watching this, I congratulate for watching this. Share it with your friends, females, like, in the world. Support us. Your help is needed too. So I send you loads of love and light,